If you're lying in bed and your thoughts are just racing, what can you do about that? You need to sleep. You're exhausted. You've probably had a long day, or you've got a very important day tomorrow, but your mind won't stop whirring and you just can't fall asleep. And maybe you're feeling very anxious thinking about the future, or feeling a lot of shame or guilt about something you've done previously that your mind just won't let go of. Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you why that happens and give you some tips for some daily steps that you can take to help this stop happening and eventually help you fall asleep a lot more easily. The first thing you have to do, and if you're watching this video, you've already done this, is notice them. You need to be aware of whatever it is that you would like to change. And once you've noticed them, and you probably also know this, you can't fight them. By paying attention to something, you get more of it. What you give attention to, you get more of. And so if you give attention to your thoughts that are just whirring around and you let yourself get caught up in them, you're going to get caught up in them even more. But you can't get out without first noticing. And it's noticing with a detachment. It's going, look, my thoughts are whirring and I'm really caught up in that right now and I'm feeling a lot of stuff. Now, why does this happen? Before we get to the solution, why does this happen? Well, the short answer is the reason why our minds like to go at a million miles an hour when we lie down and go to sleep is because our minds don't trust us to deal with all those thoughts during the day. We all live very busy lives. We've got a lot of work to do, we've got family commitments, we've got commitments to ourselves, and yet we also often distract ourselves. And this is where it comes in because it's one thing to be busy and have a lot going on, but it's another to be constantly distracting yourself through YouTube, social media, anything that you're on. And so there's little pauses of time where normally you would, like when you're cleaning your teeth or getting ready for bed or in the bathroom, you might normally have a bit of life gap there, but we fill it with distraction. And what happens when we fill it with distraction is all our thoughts and feelings throughout the day bubble up and they fill up, fill up, fill up, fill up, and they don't get let out until you go and try to fall asleep. And so, what's the solution here? Well, you've got to make time throughout your day to process all of those thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations. And how can you do that? Well, it's about making time for yourself during the day. You've got to be aware of the distractions that you have. Is it your phone? It's probably your phone. And how do you distract yourself? When? Is there any opportunity for you to even take 2 or 3 minutes at lunch or during some sort of tea break or at dinner time just to pause and just do nothing for a moment? Likewise, have you got any opportunity to lay down on paper so it doesn't have to stay in your brain anything that you need to do? A brilliant tip if you worry about work is never end the day without having written down a proper to do list for what you need to do tomorrow. Because otherwise, you're going to carry all of that work stuff in your mind. And of course, you're anxious because your brain doesn't know what you're supposed to be doing. Whereas if you've written down a to do list and it's clear, you can say to your mind when that thought comes up, look, I have a to do list. I trust my to do list and it'll be all right. And after a few times of doing that, you will be able to trust yourself that you've done it. And it's the same thing with your life to do list. If you keep a list of the things you need to do and then schedule time to do them, you're going to slowly, when you fulfill that time and actually do the thing you say you're going to do, learn to trust yourself, and that anxious thought will go away. But what about the things that are just bigger than us that we can't write down on a to do list and make disappear when we actually give specific time and action dedicated to it? Well, for those things, it can be helpful to do two things. The first is to schedule dedicated worrying time. Maybe you do this a little bit in the morning, or perhaps after dinner or before dinner. You schedule some time for yourself to do your worrying. And you can tell yourself when you see the worrying coming up, I have time to worry about that later. And then you do it and you give yourself the chance to worry. You'd be surprised at how effective that actually is. But the main thing, the real thing that you can do is what I'm about to tell you here. Even if you fail to make time for yourself during the day, you still have an opportunity in the evening before bed, or if you're in bed and you're feeling all of these thoughts bubbling up and whirring in your mind, to do this practice. And this is a surrender journal. This is something I do every day. And as an anxious person, it has helped me dramatically. This exercise uses principles from 12-step programs, which are wonderful things that you can do if you suffer from codependency or anxiety. And really, it's a holistic practice. And it's the only thing that I've found, and that many people I've spoken to and worked with have found, that really actually helps your anxiety let go before you go to bed. And the reason why it works is because it's holistic. It deals with your body, your thoughts, and your feelings. So here it is. I've waffled enough. Let's get into it. Every night before bed, you need to give yourself time to just come to yourself. You can do this in bed, and you need to notice what's been going on within you. And then you find a comfortable position. I get on my knees and I like a prayer position, but you can do this sitting down. And you need to go through your day and do a little inventory. And you can say this out loud because it gets it out of your head if you speak it out loud. You can do this in writing as well. I prefer to do it spoken, but you can do it in writing. And you share in your speech or in your writing what you've done. This morning I woke up, I had a lovely breakfast, then I got the train to work, and then I did this in the office, etc., etc., etc. And you go through your day. And as you're doing that, the most important things will come up for you. And you need to get in touch with how you feel about them, or how you would like to feel about them if there isn't a strong emotion. So let me give you two examples. I would like to feel grateful that I have a lovely breakfast and that my train to work is on time. So I say, I had breakfast and I'm very grateful that I had a wonderful, tasty, nourishing breakfast. And I went to the train station and my train to work was on time. And I'm really grateful that my train to work was on time. And then when something comes up that you are really strongly attached to and you have a feeling about, and it's probably one of the things that you've been thinking about, then you need to get in touch with all of those emotions. And they might be very difficult emotions, but those are the things that are driving the thoughts that are keeping you awake. And this, facing them, confronting them head on, letting yourself express them, is the only way that you're going to be able to process them, at least if you want to do it right now. And so something will come up. Oh my God, I wish I hadn't made that mistake at work. I sent this file to people I shouldn't have sent this file to, and it just, and I'm feeling really guilty about it. I feel really ashamed that I made a mistake, and I feel I'm just beating myself up. And as I do that, or as you do that, you really get in touch with that emotion and you express it. You express the full amount of it. Say whatever you need to do. If you need to yell into a pillow or really be really angry, express it. The reason why all these thoughts are coming up for you, a large reason why you might be feeling very anxious, is because you have suppressed all of these emotions and you need to let them out. Suppressing our feelings is what causes us a lot of the stress in our lives. And so the more we let it out, the more space we have within ourselves to find that peace that we need to fall asleep at night or to feel peace throughout our day. And now here's the most important part. Once you've felt everything, you need to surrender it. Now, this doesn't have to be a religious surrendering. You can surrender it to life or to the universe or to a higher power. I like to surrender it to God. I'm not religious, but I have a higher power and I'm spiritual. And you need to surrender that to something, anything greater than you. And it's in that surrender that you can actually let it go. And you can trust. You can trust that whatever is happening, the good and the bad, is happening because it should be happening for you and it's just what you have to go through. And then, if you're feeling very bold, you can be grateful for it. You can say thank you. And now it's easy to say thank you for the easy things. Thank you for my wonderful breakfast. Thank you for my train being on time. It's very difficult to say thank you for that mistake that I made at work that cost me a lot of time and I feel really guilty about. And yet, that's the exact thing that you need to be grateful for. Because once you've felt the emotion, you've surrendered the action, you've surrendered the emotion around it, you can then bless it and be thankful for it. And in doing that, you complete the cycle and you let go of it. And if you do this and you face every single thing that's on your mind, and you might well find that when you go through your day, other things come up that didn't happen today that have been bubbling away inside of you, and you do those as well. If you do this every day, you might only need to do this release exercise for 5 minutes or 10 minutes max. But if you haven't done this in a long time, it will bubble up and it will come through you and you'll have a lot to let go of. But when you faced it, you'll feel so free and you will sleep like a baby. And so to summarize, if the moment you lay your head down on the pillow, you immediately are full of thoughts that are keeping you awake, this is what you can do. During your day, give yourself space to feel and to be yourself and just to let life catch up with you. Take little breaks, minimize distractions, and just allow yourself to feel what you need to feel and think what you need to think rather than rushing into things. And even if you can't do that, and you're here right now in your bed, overthinking, unable to sleep, you can do this. You can get into a comfortable position. You can open yourself up by kneeling or by sitting and opening your palms. You can take a deep breath and then you can go through your day, list what happened, feel how you feel about it, surrender it to a power greater than you, and then be grateful for it. And tell yourself you're grateful. Even if you don't necessarily feel entirely grateful, make room for a little bit of gratitude. And do that for everything until your heart that is heavy feels light and your mind that is whirring slows down. This will really help. And I hope it does help and that you're able to do it. And if you've made it this far in the video, then I want to thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy this and would like to see more content like it, then please hit like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.